Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the
Well, we got a unboxing today. It's already unboxed. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly. So we're going to start with the bad and the ugly first, and that is this Vevor magnetic vise. It's in less than stellar condition. You can see the scratches. I don't know what the discoloring is about here, but it's got marks all over it. And of course, you can see the swipe lines from the surface grinder they use. You get what you pay for, and this is one of the reasons why I complain about buying Chinese garbage so much. And this is why I had to get this, because there's a job I need to do, and I need to mount this job to the milling machine, and I really don't have any way to secure it. This is a 10 by 18 magnetic vise. It's pretty big. 10 inches is wider than the table on the milling machine, but the workpiece is pretty large. It's I think 22 inches wide by 24 inches, or 22 inches deep by 24 inches wide, however, and it's a hamburger griddle that came out of a restaurant. You know, that surface plate, that magnetic chuck, I mean, is going to hang over this quite a bit. So it is something I'm going to be videoing. I almost was going to send it straight to a machine shop just to have them grind it, but because I didn't think that I could do it on my milling machine because I don't have enough travel, but I realized that, what the heck am I thinking? This arm, or whatever this is, can move in and out. So I do have enough to be able to do this. This is going to hold it magnetically. This will be mounted to the table, the mill table, and then this thing comes off. It's just screwed on. And then the griddle is going to sit on here. And I can tell this is not flat. So the thing is, it's a hamburger griddle. It's not going to really matter too much. I do have some concerns. You know, once I get this on there, I'm going to have to, you know, run the indicator over it and, you know, see how this is going to turn out, because I need to make sure that once I get the hamburger griddle on here, I'm gonna have to indicate it again, and I need to make sure that I can run the cutter over it, and I don't end up, you know, starting shallow here and ending up really deep here, or vice versa. Otherwise, I don't think the lack of precision here is gonna matter. However, down the road, if I'm going to have to use this for anything actually precision, I'm going to have to take this to a shop and have them regrind it on their surface grinder to get this perfectly up to snuff. You know, I don't know, man. I kind of figured, and, you know, a good surface plate, a magnetic plate at this dimension was like $2,500, and I don't have that. This was like $400. There's the bad and the ugly. You know, it's like they didn't even fill the plate out. You know, no model, no date, no nothing. That's just kind of disappointing. And That bevel's not even all that great. And all of this is really rough. It's not smooth at all. It's just kind of, this is all rough. That's rough. You know, that's what I mean. The Chinese nonsense. So, you know, you get what you pay for, but it'll do the job. You know I harp on buying Chinese, but it's like I said, sometimes you got to do it, and this was a case where I had to do it. You know, I can get this, you know, more money after I get it to the machine shop to have it surface ground. Hopefully it's enough to do the job I need. Other than that, I think that this will do just fine in its current state. For the good, for the really good, for the really good, I got an update for my lathe. And yes, it is a CXA tool post from Aloris. So this is the BXA, which is what I've been using. And you can see there is quite a bit of difference in size and heft. So these are 5/8 tools for the BXA, and I've had nothing but problems trying to get, you know, the tools I need at 5/8 because nobody uses them. They all use, you know, 3/4, which is this. So you can see the difference in size right there. This is the BXA, this is the CXA. And so how is this going to be different when I'm using it on a lathe? Well, it's going to produce a lot better cuts. I'll be able to take heavier cuts, you know, because there's more beef, there's more heft, and it's going to be a lot more stable, and I'll have a lot more options for tooling because most of the tooling that people use on these lathes are 3/4 and not the 5/8. So, you know, the 3/4 is 1/8 of an inch thicker. Doesn't look like much, but that little bit gives a lot more beef to the tool and just makes it less prone to vibration and, you know, movement and stuff like that. So I had to buy a 7-piece kit. I wanted the 5-piece because there's a few pieces I really don't need. And then it came with these two. I had to buy 2 extra because I need enough to put, you know, tooling in there to swap out. This is a special tool holder. It's one of the things I didn't really need, but okay, I got it. I'll just put it away until I need it. This boring bar holder, I'm going to need to get a different sleeve to fit in there for my boring bar. And I think one of these, okay, yeah, this one can hold a boring bar right here. So that's what that groove is for. So I can actually use my boring bar with this and not this. But eventually I'll get this tooled up. Got a cutter. You know, I have a different cutter set up, so I'm going to have to get a different tool holder for the cutter I have. That's not going to work. And then I have no clue what this is. The box says it's a threading holder. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Again, not something I really needed. Mostly, you know, these are what I need here and this. So it did come with its own blank, but as you can see here, this is the one that I machined last year. Now the bolt on here is a lot bigger, so all I'm going to do is get the right size tap for this and retap this and just use this since it's already machined. So I can just drill this hole out, retap it to fit this, and I'm good to go. then I'll throw this in my scrap pile. So yeah, this is even bigger. This is nice and beefier as well. So a couple reasons why this was important, and I will show you here. So one of the issues being that the size of the lathe I'm using is this compound slide. And as you can see, I'm really not getting a whole lot of surface area touching on this tool from this to this, which is a problem. So you can see how much more I have. And so now look at how much more I got that is coming in contact with the compound slide. If I could have gone bigger than this even, I would have, but in order to size this, now that's the sizing is a little deceptive because they'll say that CXA from this many inches to that many inches to the center, and it's wrong. What you have to do in order to make sure your tool is going to work right, you have to measure from this surface, which is what the tool post is sitting on, to the center line of your chuck. That's the important measurement. It's not this measurement. It doesn't matter that I have a 14-inch swing here. I could have the CA says 14-inch swing to whatever, but the reality is from this measurement here to this measurement here, the CA wouldn't have worked. Now that doesn't mean it wouldn't work on your lathe. You might have a 14-inch lathe, but your compound setup and your cross slide is going to be different. So you might have the room to put a CA on here. A CA it's bigger than this even, and that would have given me more surface area. But all in all, I think this is going to be fine, and it will resolve a bunch of problems that I've had cutting material. And I've gone through this whole lathe. I've had all this apart. I've tightened it up, and I've had this apart, and I've rebuilt it, and I've done a little bit of machining on this to get things back to snuff, and straightened out the gib adjustment and all that. So I've done pretty much what I can to get this where I'm going. The next step is just to replace this all together with a solid tool post, but I can't do that because this lathe is going to be producing stuff. It's going to be, I'm not using this in a hobby type setup, and I only have one lathe, and I'm going to be needing to change. I'm going to have to change the tools out a bunch, and so I really need something like this. So I'm really glad that I was finally able to magically get this, thanks to the wonders of credit. More in debt. So this is the final upgrade to my lathe. Now I have to get all this tooled up, which is going to be another expense. I can't cut threads with this because I'm missing a specific change gear, and I don't know how to cut gears yet, but I do have a dividing head, and I do plan on figuring out how to do it this summer. And I found a company that'll actually cut me a gear for under $100. So I'm probably going to have them do that for me just so I can get this going. But I'm still going to learn how to do it, and I'm going to make a full set of change gears. I only need 3 so I can do all the standard cutting. I don't plan on ever doing anything metric on this, even though I could. Eventually, someday down the road, I'll probably, once I'm good at cutting gears, I'll go ahead and cut a full set of change gears for this. But until then, this is just a really, really big deal to what I'm doing here. So, got a good tool post holder, really good chuck, and this will allow me to take some good heavy cuts without a problem. It'll improve my ability to do parting. And I think overall will solve a lot of issues I've had, and not the least of which, one of my concerns with the smaller holder is just ruining the cross slides. So now that I got more surface area here, I'm going to be less likely to cause damage to this. You can see how much more I'm able to grip on there now than that other one. So I'm still going to keep this. I might, you know, never know, another lathe might show up, a smaller one or something. Maybe a lathe I can dedicate to 5C. I don't know, but I might add a secondary tool post with this over here just to do secondary type cuts. I don't know yet. I'm not sure. You know, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. It's a big issue having to retool all this. This is the tool blade size I want to use, but it's too thick. And I've been using this on the BXA. And I like that. So I'm going to have to get one of these for the CXA. And then what's going to happen is I'm not going to be able to use this because it's too small. But this is the thinnest thin that I can use. So one of the things I'm going to be producing, I'm going to be parting off a lot of. Thickness is important because it's wasting material, so I need to keep the thicknesses down as much as possible so that I can minimize the amount of waste. So that means I'm going to have to get another one of these that's this thin. So I have this, which can accept that, but this is like a tool holder inside of a tool holder, which I don't like. I don't like this at all. And a lot of people do use a setup like this and they're fine with it, but I'm not. And plus it's 5/8. So I don't use this, and I have no plan on using this ever. So this is this BXA. This was my boring bar setup. Now this is not big enough, or actually it's too big to go in there. But it's a really stable, solid setup. So I'm eventually going to have to either get a smaller sleeve to fit in there, or what I'd rather do is get the CXA of this diameter to match the size of the boring bar that I have. This is a really, really beefy, heavy boring bar. So this is not going to fit in there. So I'm definitely going to need to get a larger one of those. Part of the issue, you know, with getting a set, however, I can use my current boring bar, which I had in here on this. It will work, and I'm only going to be machining aluminum, so this will be just fine. This is not gonna be useful to me at all. I'm just never ever gonna use that. You know, I wish I could have put the set together myself and said, hey, this is what I need and this is what I don't need, but I had a lot of limitations in getting this, so I kind of had to get what I could get and be happy with it. As far as the tap, so I mean, it's obvious that I don't have everything I need. You know, being a shop, a home shop, machine shop, whatever I am, I should have a full set of taps so I could just pull it out and, you know, tap my thing and get the thing mounted up. But I don't, this stuff is expensive. This set was $1,500, so don't know what to say about that. Yeah, I should have a tap and die set so I could just pull a tap out and, go to town right away and not have to save up money and then buy it down the road. But that's what I have to do. Starting this business from the ground up, and I've been buying everything from the ground up, and I don't have everything that I need. So this is just part of the process of getting there. I need a full drill bit set yet. I need a tap and die set. There's a whole bunch of tooling I need for this now. Could still use a surface grinder, which I don't have. And I've come to an idea on that. I think what I'm going to do is just find a basket case, a rebuildable basket case, because I've seen decent surface grinders that needed help for under $1,000. And I want to get one that has at least a good, 10-inch, which would make it a pretty good sized surface grinder. I don't want to get stuck with a 6-inch limitation. On the surface grinder, you're limited by how many inches this way you're going to be able to travel, and most of the home shops have 6-inch, and it's good enough for their, for what they're doing. But I want to make sure that I have something bigger to handle whatever I need. So in the future, I want to be able to have a magnetic chuck on a surface grinder just like this, so I can lay down whatever I need. That's my wish. It's going to take a while before that happens, but that's it. Have a good day. Talk to you later.